Sky Cable TV Kenya, Beyond the Real.
My viewers, I greet you. What are you doing today? I am good. I am Grace. Today I want to present a program. Let's talk. I call it with my language Okatwaraniriye, but today I want to try and bring it with English to see how it's gonna be. So today I want us to talk about something about a topic called, do miracles still happen? Yeah, we know miracles happened in the old Bible, or in the old times. According to the Bible, we know many miracles happened, or God did a lot of miracles, many miracles through his servants like Moses, Joshua, and others, the prophets, Elijah, and many more prophets. They did a lot of miracles. And again, at the times of New Testament, when Jesus was here with his disciples, and after he went, or he was dead, the miracles he did also were done by his disciples. So at the times that we are living, many people ask this question, do miracles still happen? I would say yes, they still happen, but they are not like the way it was. Like one time Moses was told by God to part the Red Sea with a rod that he was having in his hands, and when he touched the waters parted, and we know it was blown like a wind, and there was a way, there was a dry land, and people walked through that land. So that was a miracle, and many more. We know in times of Jesus, he raised the dead, the bride received their sight, the lame could walk, and all those miracles, as we read them through the Bible, we know it happened. But today, many people think that those miracles cannot be done today, or there's nothing that can happen. Miracles still happen. I would like to quote something here, like God does miracles today just like in biblical times. What we do is we just don't hear about them, we don't see them, or attribute them to him. But miracles still happen. What Jesus did, he said we can do it even with a double portion or 2 times more than him. And in Hebrews chapter 13 and 8, I want to quote something. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. What do I want to say? I want to mean like what he did when he was here on earth with his disciples, how he raised people. It can still happen. In John chapter 14, he promised us that if we ask anything in his name, he's gonna do it. So that's a promise. So if he did miracles, what he did by then is supposed to be done by us in the times that we are living, twice as much. But the problem is that the miracles that happened is in the time of Jesus, like raising a dead, people think it doesn't happen just because they don't know. But miracles still happen, and I'll prove to that through various miracles that I have searched, that I know. People have witnessed things happening. Yeah, people have been raised from dead, people have been healed, people have received miracles of different kind. Actually, we live in the life that we live, it's a miracle life. Every day is a miracle. You having a new day every day is a miracle by itself. You woke up this morning, you walked, you went to work, you were able to eat, you were able to do everyday things like what you do every day, and everyday style that you do, you are able to do. You are able to do whatever you want to do in an everyday time. Like when you wake up, you do things until in the evening, and you come back, you are safe. These are miracles. So miracles still happen. I want to quote something else here, like a miracle, a special divine action. It's a special divine action. It's a supernatural thing that is extraordinary, that cannot be understood by a man or a human being. Something supernatural. Like we know, we go to the hospital, the doctors treat us, they give us medicines, and yes, we are healed. And all the same, even when the doctors give us medication, or they give us treatment, and we get healed, still it's God working through them. But they are tangible miracles, whereas the doctors are unable to do anything. Everybody cannot do nothing, but a supernatural thing happens and something is done. So it's something that people cannot be able to do. It's a supernatural thing. A miracle is a supernatural cause whereby we are able to observe nature and understand. When we see and this thing happen, even the scientists have witnessed some things and they say, okay, only a miracle can make this happen. Or something happened and they say only a miracle can happen for this thing to be done. So, but there are people like the scientists, when they go to books and they do, and they know their experiences of their knowledge and their materials that they use, it is very hard for them to believe that they are miracles. And when they read the Bible, they are not able to fathom how a miracle can happen, because it is through their knowledge, it is through their brain, they think that things happen. But the truth is, miracles still happen, because this topic, I'm calling it, does miracles still happen? That's why I'm saying it still happens. So we know that Jesus performed many signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not recorded in this book, in the book, or like in the Bible. When we read the Bible, there are many miracles according to the people who wrote the Bible. It is said that there were many miracles that Jesus did that were not recorded in the book, but these are written. The miracles that we read about were written so that many may believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. Like in believing what he did, you may have life in his name. Remember, a miracle is any time God steps in and redirects the natural occurrences of life, big or small. I have under 15 minutes to bring this, so I want to go and quote a miracle. I have done a research and I have several miracles that happened. But in this episode, which I'm calling episode 1, I want to talk about a miracle that happened not long time ago, so that we can have that faith and believe that miracles still happen, because they happen. They still happen. They still happen. And I want to talk about a mysterious rescue, and it is a research that I have done. That was in I am gonna read how it is. In March 2015. Those are a few years, like from 2015 up to now is like 7 years. In a place called Utah, rescuers had an adult yelling, "Help me, help me!" Like there was a voice calling, an adult calling, "Help me," from inside a car that had crashed into an icy river. When they raced to answer the call, they found 18-month-old Lily suspended above the freezing water in her car seat. Lily's mother had died in the crash, so there was no way she could have been the one calling for help, and Lily was too young. Like we have heard, she was 18 months. Lily was too young to talk. Lily had been hanging upside down for more than 14 hours, and would not have survived much longer if it hadn't been for the mysterious voice. That's a miracle. Okay, that's a miracle. Because the mother, we know she died from the impact. And when the car crashed into the river, she died from the impact. But baby, an 18-month-old baby, was not dead, and she was hanging on her seat to the icy water, or the water was freezing. And for 14 hours, we don't understand how that baby survived. That could only be a miracle. So miracles still happen. That's why I'm saying miracles still happen, but people doesn't know because they don't. It's not like the times of Jesus when he was having a multitude around him. He was going everywhere. He could do things that people could see. But we know miracles still happen. We have experienced miracles happen. Like me, I know I have many miracles that I can talk about. And as we continue with this topic, at some point I'll talk about my miracles because I have experienced miracles. And when I think about what happened, I usually call them miracles because nobody could have done what happened, or nobody could have prevented what would have happened. So miracles still happen. So I want to continue and talk about another miracle of a dead woman who was revived, and it was pronounced by the doctors that she was dead. And after some time, the heart started beating from nowhere, and the doctors couldn't believe. So this woman was called Luby Casimilo, and she died. It is quoted very well. She died of complications during her C-section. C-section is when somebody is giving a birth, and that was in September 2014. You see how close we are. The first miracle had happened. The first miracle that I talked about was on 2015, and this miracle happened on 2014. It's the other day. It's like the other day. Just 7 years, 8 years, and miracles, tangible miracles that we see, that people saw, and even the doctors pronounced, yes, that was a miracle. That was on September 2014. Yes, Luby was having a C-section in September 2014, and doctors tried to revive her, but 45 minutes after they last detected a pulse. A pulse is whether she's still breathing, whether she's alive, whether she's responding. She was not responding. So after 45 minutes, you can imagine she is not responding. She is not having a pulse. So the doctors called the family in to say goodbye. Suddenly something happened, and her heart began beating on its own. Like they tried to do CPR, everything for 45 minutes. It was not back. But suddenly, after they had given up and they had nothing else to do, suddenly her heart started beating on its own. And they say she experienced no brain damage and soon went home with her healthy baby. Now, what would we call that? It's a miracle. Being dead and the doctors pronounce, we know of people who have been taken to mortuary or the morgue, and they are pronounced by the doctors that they are dead. And after they are taken to the morgue, after some time or after 2 days, the people who work in the morgue hear people kicking the coffin, like somebody gets back to life after being dead. These are miracles. I'm just saying this to make it clear that miracles happen, but because they are not recorded like the times of men of God like Moses, Joshua, other people, Elijah, both Elijahs, we know they did miracles. We know the times of Jesus and Paul, the apostle, they did a lot of miracles, but because it was recorded, that's why we know miracles happen. But I want to emphasize on this one thing, that miracles still happen. So I know as you listen to me and as you are listening, you have a lot of experience from people or from yourself, from you like things that happened and nobody could believe it happened. Like we know we had a recent a recent accident whereby a bus went into the river. I think it was from the Kabarad, and there was a survivor who was saying she was saved by the mask. Actually, it was not the mask that saved that woman. It was a miracle, because I don't see how the mask could not let the water go into her nostrils and go choke her and she died. But it just happened. But according to her, she says it's the mask that saved her. But what we know, it was a miracle among many people who died, who perished in that river, but she survived. That's a living testimony of a miracle that happened. So as we continue to talk in this topic, and I'll be having many episodes, I'll continue bringing experience of miracles that happened, and that will bring our faith back that miracles still happen, and it is not something that happened or stopped to happen, because many people think it stopped happening. It is still happening, and there are many miracles that are happening. So before I finish, I would ask you to go there. This is Sky Keyboard TV Kenya. That's where we are, and I would request you to go there, subscribe. You can also give us a thumb up like you like. Thank you for that. Thank you for listening. Until then, goodbye.